Do you know what's happening on your shop floor? Well, I'm here with Geoff, who's going to talk us through some of the features on PSL Datatrack to give you the information you require. Now, Geoff, talk us through how you help subcontractors plan what is happening on their shop floor.
So within Datatrack, there's the scheduling module. So the quotes are done in Datatrack, which gives you the definition of the job card. As soon as you load a works order, the flow of that process goes straight through to the scheduler, so we know exactly what job's there, what the process is that's required. Once the scheduler recalculates and plans all the jobs out in sequence based on priorities, due dates and so on, it will give you a work to list, the exact order to work through operations of jobs on each machine.
So let's talk about the machine. How do you showcase if the machine is running, broke down, getting set, them sort of things? Can you see that in real time?
Through data collection, yeah. So the transaction's there to be consulted and viewed. If you'd like to see a live feed, that's where status boards come in.
Now, we've talked a lot about what happens on the shop floor, and we've talked about what happens on the machine, which a lot of people at home will know already about. But what about staff members? Because that's one thing you never seem to see in a system like this is, can you tell who's here, who's not, what job they're doing? Can you see all of that?
Exactly the same through status boards. So through shop floor data collection, you'll record or your clock on, clock off of operations, therefore you know who's involved. By virtue of clocking on off, you've clocked on to a resource, i.e. a cost centre or a machine. You've also clocked on for a works order, so we know all three pieces of information. Now those status boards can display what machines are doing, they can display where works orders are, they can display who's on a job, whether they've not been on a job for 10 minutes, where are they? Maybe they're clocked onto what we call a waiting code. Maybe they're doing a stock take or they're planning for an audit or something. So you can have non-works order codes you can clock on and record time against.
So you can see exactly what your staff are doing while you're sat in your office looking at the boards, which to me is great because it means they don't have to go and find out. Now, one thing a lot of people I've seen struggle with is last minute jobs or rush jobs.
Yeah.
So when a customer rings up saying, look, I'm struggling, one of our machines is down, I need this part. Is there any way in the system you can see if you will have the capacity to make that job that won't cause chaos across the shop floor?
Certainly, without a doubt, Tom. So we can schedule in two directions. We can schedule based on today what you can achieve. We can also schedule backwards based on everything out on time. When do you last need to start and stop? So you can see two views. Based on those two views, you can also look at what we call a gap overview. So you can pick out days on which certain machines have nothing planned, so you can see you've got that capacity. If you're looking for a more general view, let's say you've got a rush job that's coming, you know there's 40 hours worth of machining on a particular cost centre. You can look at a status board and you can see which week has 40 hours free. You can then see, right, if I go ahead 3 weeks, I can find the time for that. There's your lead time.
And this must give customers confidence for their customers that it's not all just guesswork. Because you know exactly what's happening on the shop floor, if you get that phone call, you can be certain that if you agree a delivery date, that you're going to hit that delivery date.
Without a doubt, it's down to making realistic promises. Now, if you make a realistic promise, you can keep it, provided you stick to schedule. Of course, things could happen. You could get a machine breakdown. Nothing you could do about those kind of eventualities, but they should be few and far between. The promises you make should be accurate.
So just before we finish, do you have any customer testimonials that show just how good status boards have been for them?
We've got a number, Tom. In fact, most recent one, we went with one of your colleagues down to Jota Advanced Engineering down near Hastings. They've really embraced Datatrack. They've got status boards, they've got shop floor data collection, they're big users of the scheduler. And we focus then in terms of the benefits they get. So yeah, real world example, really well run facility.
So if anyone at home has seen this and would like to know more about it, or you already have a customer who's not using status boards, what's the quickest and easiest way for them to get in contact with you guys?
Visit our website, psldatatrack.com.
Well, Geoff, thank you for your time today. It's been great to hear all about status boards, and I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you, Tom.